What is up, guys? I am John and you are watching Johnny Fabs, and today we're going to be working on a Datsun. We're going to be working on the back half floor where I built the fuel cell. We're going to be cutting out some rust and adding some tubes in there for more strength, and then running a bumper support with our tubes. So we're going to get into it. So as you guys can see, this is the original floor support. It's rotted out right there, really bad, really thin, really weak, rusted. There was a spot right there that was rusted, and then up there on the floor it was rusted. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a tube. I have some spare roll cage tube. I'm gonna run a tube in and then bend it down to this crossbar, this square tubing. So I already cut the floor out right here, and then I opened up that way I can slide my tube in and make the bend, and then we're gonna do it on the other side too. Even though that side's not rusted, we'll make it match, and then we're gonna have to come up with something for the rear, because that also where the fuel tank mounted, it's rusted out back there too. So we're gonna start over with new metal and go from there. So I went ahead and bent up these two tubes, and I cut them on an angle here, and I made them exactly the same. That way they're going to be the same in the car, and that way everything's lining up. So we're going to test fit it and see how it fits, and then we're going to go from there. So as you can see, I have the bar running inside of the old stock Crossmember, and then it's coming down to the crossbar square tubing, and it's following the same angle as the stock floor was. So the reason I left the stock stuff still there is to get a ballpark idea of where it needs to be, and to get some structure before I cut too much out. I did go ahead and jack up the back half of the frame on the frame rails we added. That way it's taking all this load off of the rotisserie. Before, these were bending down, so I got all the load off. That way once we do cut the cross members, we might have to unbolt this for our new bumper support to get rid of that rot. So these jacks are supporting the car, so that way it doesn't just bend in half. So yep, that's the first look at the tube. We're gonna have to cut the other side floor out and then run the tube in there, get it kind of prepped, and then we're gonna start cutting on the back. I just got the passenger side cut out right there, and then I slid the tube in, hammered it in, and then it fits, hopefully you guys can see that, up against that square stop, and then that side also. So again, we're probably going to be cutting this floor out and making a new panels, so it'll make it look nice, but it's looking pretty killer with the tubing, and then the roll cage kind of all ties in together pretty good. So now, next step, I think I'm going to be cutting this cross member out and adding, I think I'm going to use this 2x4 steel as like a bumper, because the current setup is just a fiberglass. So that'll be nice and strong, and then tie into the two tubes I just added. What do you want? What do you want? Huh? What do you want? What do you want? Alright guys, so I just made up this square tubing. It's 2x4, and then I used the ends I cut and capped them, welded both sides. It's going to go up here, run across, and act like a bumper support. So I'm going to have to cut out this. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll fit it up and then weld our tubes to it. Alright guys, so I just went ahead and jacked everything up. I welded that brace on to keep the car from coming back. And I went ahead and cut out all that right there. And we're gonna put our new piece up and tack it in and then get our tubes welded to it. Alright guys, here's a look inside. I got the bar in, welded in, kind of tacked in, and then I got the main square tube, the bumper bar in. That's welded up pretty good, and then I started ripping out the old piece right there. You see how rotted it was, so it's just best to get it out. So right now I have this cross member in for my S13 rear subframe. So I'm going to make a tube that goes from here over to here and then tie that in to this C-channel. That way I don't have to redo this later on. I can just tie it in and then it'll be nice and strong tied into here. So we're not losing any support. So I just got done finishing welding the tube into the cross member where it has the S13 studs. So you can see that. I went ahead and welded on there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to cut that clean off. So when it put the new floor in, it's clean, or just leave that. But got that fully welded in. And then I went ahead and ground off the strut towers. I'm thinking I'm gonna run a bar down from there down here where the bumper support is gonna be. So it gives that strength, and then it kind of ties in the back to the strut towers just for some more bracing. Not 100% sure. I have these pre-bent tubes here, so I'm thinking something like, let me see if I can get this. Something like that, where it goes from, obviously it's going to be chopped, go down from the strut tower, bend, and then come down to the other tubular part, just to tie in the bumper and give it more support. I'm not 100% sure if I want to have it come on the angle like that, or come straight down, then come on an angle into the chassis. So gotta figure that out, but trying to keep you guys updated. So far it looks pretty good. And then I also test fitted my cell frame, and it fits in there still, and it's gonna be able to mount it, weld it to it. So that's nice. So yep, just gonna keep moving forward. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I went ahead and made up these plates to go right here on the strut tower. That way it has a good thick surface to weld the plates to, or the tubes to. So I made them both sides. That one's gonna go there. So I'm gonna tack these up, and then we can place our tubes on there. I just made them out of cardboard, a cardboard cutout, and then I traced it out on the sheet metal, and then plasma cut it out. So, yep, gonna get these tacked on, and then we'll get our tubes fitted. So I just got the down bars from the strut tower down to this bar done, fully welded in. Got the plates fully welded in, and then it's welded in down there. And then I went ahead and set the frame for the fuel cell in there. That's fitting good on the crossbars, so I'm going to weld that in once I get everything else situated. So yep, just keeping you guys updated. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for the tubular back half video. We got our strut towers to rear bumper bars in, fully welded, and then everything's tied in up front on that square tubing. And then we'll show you on the back side. I went ahead and made up some panels here to put the floor back in. Welded that to the tubing on both sides. So that's done, and then I also tied in the subframe to this tube underneath. It's fully welded up top, so I just stitch welded it. But yeah, so now we're going to be making some floor pans, but that's probably going to be in the next video. think that's going to be it for the tubular back half. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope this helped you guys out. And please like, comment, subscribe, and peace.